Well, it seems a lot of the women's liberation movement of late, the sex liberation and that you spoke about, it seems to advantage men.
I believe the casual sex is harmful for both parties. It makes it easy for people to be used, it can physically be dangerous and harmful for you, and obviously it takes a mental and emotional toll.
When she started her studies, 23-year-old Nakwanda Mtambo from Soweto was struck by the expensive looks, clothing, and excessive shopping her fellow classmates enjoyed. Her friends were so-called slave queens who depend on rich men to maintain their lifestyle. They introduced her to her own blesser.
No, today nothing is for free today. I rather sell myself as to give it away for free.
There is a problem that has been blooming and getting out of hand for the past 5 years in my country, and if we don't do anything or talk about it, young men and women are going to suffer drastically and detrimentally. I am talking about the fleeing economy. It is not a lie when we say that many young people are facing economic hardships and thus plunge into a world of odd jobs to be able to cater for their needs. Obviously, I'm not speaking for everyone but the few that are actually going through it. Let's delve into this topic, and please be sure to be open-minded. Speaking from a personal experience, when I was younger at around 2017 to 18, I was introduced to this world through the internet. I was rather a curious and very sexually starved guy for my age. It all started on Facebook, seeing very provocative pictures on my feed, and the names attached to these profiles were interesting. For example, this wording here, and etc. It led me to a rabbit hole that I did not know would have adverse effects on me in my later years, as I became perverse and viewed women in a slightly different manner. In the later years, I will come to know of many other sites with the wording in which when I saw what I liked, I would call who I thought, or rather I saw fit for my needs, depending on the area that I am in, and do what is needed for as low as $5 to as high as $20. This in turn also sparked my interest, why these women do what they do. As you can find women from different settings doing this, be it in the most posh of place to humble of places.
No, today nothing is for free today. I rather sell myself as to give it away for free. That I won't do it. I rather make from this thing benefit, because that is what God gives to me, because there's no job.
The sell your body for money business has been something that has been part of our history since time, and in Kenya especially, Nairobi, Koinange Street was once a historical place where Sodom and Gomorrah used to exist. In the night, from as early as 7 p.m, you will go into the nightlife and will meet meticulous, beautifully dressed ladies eagerly waiting to water your thirst according to your price and bargaining bid. All this was going well until the COVID-19 era hit. Many businesses were closed down, and this being one of them. According to the article by The Star with the heading reading, "They sell your body for money workers from brothels to apps and homes." This is a story of what happened at the time. Wanjiru, 26, has been working as an escort since she left high school. On an average day, Wanjiru will make between 5,000 Kenyan shillings to 10,000 shillings per day. With that, she was able to pay rent for a house in one of the middle-class suburbs in the city, pay fees for her daughter in a private school, and regularly send some little money to her mother up country. 4 years ago, she started saving for a down payment for a mortgage she was planning to take in 2020. Then the pandemic happened. The government took broad measures to prevent the spread of COVID-19. It limited travel and imposed curfews and early closure of clubs, bars, and other public venues. The measures curtailed Wanjiru's ability and that of other female workers to engage in the street-based work. Wanjiru is quickly running out of her savings as she struggles to continue working as an escort. On a good day, she counts herself lucky if she makes 2,500 Kenyan shillings, which is a fraction of what she used to make. She has also had to downsize and cut back on her own expenses as she tries to cope with the situation. She withdrew her daughter from a private school and registered her in a public school. She has also had to move to a cheaper house to save on rent. In hours, there are fewer clients. Those who I get prefer to pay me less for my services because they no longer have as much money as before. But as you know, necessity is the mother of invention, and people always find a hack. So this solution was through dating apps, and they have exploited it fully. An article says to deal with these challenges, a few of the women who are tech savvy have started using one of the dating apps to offer the services. Wanda, not a real name, one of the few commercial workers who have been using the dating app to get clients, she says, "We went online, there is an app we use to get clients. We share the app with our colleagues and our regular clients who are now able to contact us. She says, for virtual coitus, we charge between 1,000 Kenyan shillings and 2,000 Kenyan shillings an hour. The client has to make a 50% deposit in advance and the balance after the session. But we still face problems as some of the clients refuse to pay. We also use the app to link up with our clients. The app allows our clients to choose which services they want. Through the app, clients can decide whether they want to have face-to-face sessions, engage virtually, and even where to meet. Some call it in-call, out-call services. And that is just part of the story, as some use this business as a way to survive, but others are trying to attain this flashy lifestyle. According to the standard with the heading reading, monetize self or digital selling your body for money. With OnlyFans birthing millionaires from selling adult content, young women and men are venturing into digital promiscuity as a means to earn a quick buck. Other social media sites include Twitter, WhatsApp, Tinder, Cloud Romance, and Snapchat are also being misused.
It all started when I got this on my Instagram. A screenshot from one of my followers complaining that ladies nowadays in Nairobi are selling sex as cheap as 3,000 Kenyan shillings just to make a living.
Take for instance a young woman on Twitter. She realized the opportune network that is Twitter and the demand for adult content. She uses her Twitter account to parade her semi-nude photos using emojis to cover her private parts. Her bio reads, 500 to be added to my private Telegram channel, 500 to be added to my WhatsApp group, 500 for my nudes, and 1,000 Kenyan shillings for lesbian videos. I use Tinder and Snapchat to sell my stuff. I told my parents that I work as a secretary in a company in Nairobi. I opened my Snapchat and Tinder accounts in 2019 and made them private. Only when you message me can you get access to my account. I charge 2,000 Kenyan shillings by the hour for protected coitus and 4,000 for unprotected coitus. There are rates for Kenyans only. For white men, I charge a higher because they have more money. Joyce says she is financially stable and that is why she can afford to pay 35,000 Kenyan shillings for rent for an apartment in Langata, one of the rich suburbs in Kenya, or rather in Nairobi. An artist based in Nairobi whose parents live in Kileleshwa, another rich suburb in Nairobi. The creator has an account with Cloud Romance, showing that, as I told you earlier, that people of all walks of lives do this business. She operates under the guise of a user seeking to solicit genuine love, while she is indeed seeking potential sponsors, now known as, this is the wording. She says that many of her clients book B&Bs in posh places where she offers them coitus and she gets paid good money in return.
When she started her studies, 23-year-old Nakwanda Mtambo from Soweto was struck by the expensive looks, clothing, and excessive shopping her fellow classmates enjoyed. Her friends were so-called slay queens who depend on rich men to maintain their lifestyle. They introduced her to her own blesser, a wealthy married man who was more than 20 years her senior.
He was just saying I'm his queen. With the gifts. He doesn't love jewelry, right? Can't say no.
But the gifts did not come for free. Mtambo soon discovered that she'd need to perform special favors. This is when she started having second thoughts.
You know, so it was like, do I really want this? It kind of just felt like I was being invited into, sorry to say this, but type of prostitution. But then now I have to now make do with whatever just comes by, just because of the fact that you want this life that you want soft life, lavish, luxurious.
To further the digital mayhem, socialite Shakila, popularly known as Queens of the Streets, at the time told digital journalist Eve Mungai that she runs an organization where she connects young women to old men who want to pay for coitus.
Do you do sex for free? Well, that's a very hard question. Do I do sex for free? We are different. Personally, I'm in a relationship. You are in the streets. You are in a relationship. Who told you I am? You said you are the queen of the streets, so you are in the streets. So let me tell you, in this relationship that you are, you don't get anything. I get everything that I want. I also get everything that I want from there, baby girl. I'm also in a relationship, but it's just that it's many relationships. You're in one, I'm in many. It's still the same thing, darling. So you're getting more than you.
imagine if one guy makes you happy, how will like 10 guys make you?
That's what we believe.
Have you ever thought of that? Would you want to try it one day?
When probed on the story, Shakila referred to it as a business and as hookups. She goes on to say that the hookups take place on the socialite Snapchat.
Sunday, 24th November 2019. Kenyans on social media woke up shocked to the news that police had arrested a group of young girls working at a famous brothel in Ruaka.
According to an article written by The Standard, it says apps like Facebook, Tinder are fueling the soaring industry of online prostitution and exploitation, according to a worldwide study published by a French anti-prostitution group on Tuesday, June 4th of the time. Prostitution has moved from the street to the internet, where pimps recruit young girls via Snapchat and Instagram before selling them to the highest bidder in apartments rented on Airbnb, said anti-prostitution group Fondation Shells.
Streets near Brussels Gare du Nord. African women sell their bodies for as little as €20, barely half the rate charged by Western. They make big gestures to try and attract us. Regarding the price, these women are ready to do a lot of things for little money. You can see that they're nervous, the women who need to get the money. Sometimes I wonder if they're 18 years old because they seem to be very young. Nigerian prostitutes number in their hundreds in Belgium, all victims of human. Some are just 14 years old, a problem that's growing in the country.
The report, Sexual Exploitation, New Challenges, News Answers, looks at trends in 35 countries. In Israel, dating app Tinder is the most popular tool to find prostitutes, while in Zambia, students in cyber cafes join WhatsApp and Facebook groups to connect with prostitutes and pimps in a few clicks, the report says. In France, gangs contact females who are not yet adults in welfare homes and high schools on social networks such as Facebook and Snapchat, promising opportunities to make money very quickly before posting online advertisement and selling them to the highest bidder to do the devil's bidding.
Well, that made me remember this. A conversation started on my WhatsApp by a lady identifying herself as Sarah. Well, she asked for a job, and when I responded saying that I didn't have any jobs to offer, well, she sent this. A request to hook up with me, saying that nowadays relationships are hard to sustain, saying that she only wanted to spend some good quality time with me, and in exchange, I give her money.
In a report by The Standard, it goes on to say an Instagram live unveils some of the atrocities the girls are going through. Currently in Yeni Bosna, at the time, which is in Turkey, after a good Samaritan took them in, the five revealed how, after paying huge sums of money, most of which they had borrowed and having signed contracts, things did not go as expected. The girls were promised to earn between $500 to $800, which is in Kenyan shillings 50,000 Kenyan shillings to 80,000 Kenyan shillings. Instead, they were used for coitus. Joanne opted to use Instagram to search for better opportunities abroad, and that is how she got in touch with a Turkish socialite. She, the socialite, had posted on her stories that she has jobs in Turkey, in spas and factories, and I chatted with her, she says. The jobs were available, but I had to pay 356,000 Kenyan shillings. She went to the capital of Turkey on April 27 and together with two other young women who had also contacted their host on Instagram, where they were directed to a house where they met the socialite. After freshening up, their host soon called for a meeting and tabled her demands, at the same time confiscating the passport. Joan and her peers were told that whoever wanted to work had to pay the socialite $700. She said that if we do not have the money, we will have to do what she asked. She has a brothel, and since we are poor and could not afford the money, we had to do what she asked us to do, says Joanne. She will tell us to go to Nigerian men's homes to clean and will tell them to expect a happy ending. If you know, you know. Some will force you because they have already paid the socialite, and whether you like it or not, you have to do the devil's bidding with them, says Joanne. This is but a sad testament of what young girls go through for the yearn of a better life and how they are exploited in the most vile of ways. I found this Reddit article that tries to tackle this topic in such an interesting way. It reads, certain guy posted how he does not do relationship and opts for call girls, one-night stands and hookups. I think this will be the new normal for many young men and women going forward. Reason being, women are not easy to court nowadays. I think it has something to do with women empowerment and the popular narrative that women do not need men. Men are also avoiding courting because of the embarrassment that comes with rejection. Moreover, women have so many options compared to men, and both genders have adapted the hookup culture where you can just leave and look for the next. Now we have so many sexless men who have been told that the only way to get ladies is by getting money. And what happens when they get money? They access so many girls, and that is a tragedy. When a man is in an environment where they can access a high number of girls, they lose their ability to pair and bond, and it's typical for such men to hurt girls.
Well, it seems a lot of the women's liberation movement of late, the sexual liberation and that you spoke about, it seems to advantage men far more than women.
Well, no, it doesn't.
Well, because they get the sex without the responsibility.
Yeah, but it doesn't disadvantage men. It disadvantages a very small proportion of hyper-successful and increasingly predatory men. Because it disadvantages most men, because what happens is that when the sexual constraints are lifted off women, they all migrate to a very small percentage of men, 5% maybe. And then those men have an almost unlimited field of sexual access. And so you could say that's a benefit to them, but it's not, because it trains them to be manipulative, Machiavellian, instrumental psychopaths.
It is a common narrative for women who have been with moneyed men to complain of them being unavailable or rude or such bad characters, usually associated with the inability to pair bond. An article by the Star tries to answer this with the heading reading, Why Many Youths Are Into Hookup Habits. A long-term relationship has a better cost because it allows you to grow. Hookup culture is getting involved with someone without any feelings being invested due to the fear of being lonely. It is mostly done by youths of between the age of 19 to 26 years. This is according to life coach Shazmin Bank. This is an easier way to curb loneliness because having someone for a one-time thing is much easier than getting into a long-term relationship.
How has hookup culture affected men?
If we're being honest, it's had a negative impact, not just on men, but also on society in general, because between dating apps and social media, everyone has so many different options now, and we're aware of that. So we're always afraid to invest too much into one person, because if it goes wrong, why go through that pain when I could just open up an app and find someone else? And that's especially true for women, because if we're being honest, it's a lot easier for women to meet a lot of men through these apps, especially attractive women.
Also happens in marriages. Hookup culture comes with no expectations, no rules, no time, and no boundaries involved because one has chosen to be promiscuous. People get hookup because they seem to feel they don't have control over somebody else loving them, and also don't have control over a relationship that is not working out. That is when someone gets to meet their needs and still not fulfilling them while trying to protect themselves from getting hurt.
The consequences of the hookup culture. Everyone is excellent in bed by the age of 30, 40, 50, 60, but no one knows how to be a good boyfriend or girlfriend material.
This last triangle hurts because at the end of the day, you are still empty and the person you are hooking up with doesn't care. This habit comes with the cost of losing control over your own body, losing attachment to God, the shame of dealing with it, who to be, who not to be, and the fact that you will not think about your future and can never excel in life with games.
So a girl posted it just a few days ago, and she said, when he texted, he's 20 minutes away and you get that feeling. And the comments shocked me and honestly broke my heart a bit. I mean, the top one is the ick. And then the creator of this tweet says, more like impending dread. That is literally the feeling that she was trying to summarize in that meme, that tweet. Another person said, nah, I get the nerves and I want to cry, TBH. Somebody else said, realizing that this is a common experience is nice, like OMG. Somebody else said, the shame and dread just overtakes my body.
Women get involved because they confuse what they get from this habit with love. The fact that they gain material things like a new weave, get nails done, and being surprised with gifts every other time, it is still not love. The truth of the matter is that this person is in this state because they want to hide pain, but they simply forget that they are more in pain because they are trying to find love and companionship in this habit of theirs. It is very shocking that someone can trust another person not to love their whole being and involving in emotions, yet they trust and allow them to come into the deepest part of their bodies. A long-term relationship has a better cost because it allows you to grow, whereas hooking up over and over shovels you to shrink. In short, this means the loneliness epidemic is destroying authentic factor in having a true relationship, thus ruining our mental health, and thus must foster having healthy relationships with the right people. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. This is again another different video, but also trying to bring light of what is going on in the world. And I feel like as a young person who has been exposed to this world has to also expose it in some way to other people and just shed light into this, if that makes sense. But just to bring a notion of what people are going through, the dark things that happens in this realm. Aside from that, thank you a lot for watching. Please do like and subscribe. It really helps the channel, and I'll see you guys in a bit. Peace.